Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here today. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you like the content that you see, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, please hit that bell button so you are notified every single time that I upload. And everyone, please consider giving me a big thumbs up, as that really helps me out here on YouTube, and it allows YouTube to know that people are enjoying the content I create. Thank you so much, friends. Enjoy the DIYs today. DIY number 1 is going to be inspired by Courtney from Creative on the Cheap. She created a gorgeous watermelon jar, and I did that as well, but I was also inspired to create a lemon jar. Courtney will be linked below in my description box, but for this adorable lemon jar on a stand that I created, I began with a jar from Dollar Tree with a lid and I Mod Podged it. I then took a Dollar Tree stand that I had used in a previous project and I coated it with agave Waverly paint. I then coated my entire jar and lid with Waverly Plaster chalk paint. I then took this bright yellow color by Folk Art and painted a stripe along the bottom of my jar. I'm going to paint the rest of this jar with this Waverly Maze chalk paint. So my Waverly Plaster chalk paint was just a base so that I could get this maze to show up and look super pretty. I am then going to draw some teardrops in pencil all along my jar. Now I will have the paint colors listed in my description box, as I use a lot of different colors today. So once that is done, I'm going to take my Waverly Plaster chalk paint and just fill in those little teardrop shapes. I'm taking this darker yellow Folk Art paint that I used on the bottom and dry brushing it around between the teardrops. Once that is done, I will Mod Podge again. I will then take this lid and I'm going to use Agave by Waverly to paint the top of the lid, and then for that little piece that goes around, I'm going to paint that with my yellow Waverly Maze. I'm going to take 2 little lemons that I had in my stash. You can get a big bag at Hobby Lobby, 50% off, and I'm going to stab a hole through them with a screwdriver. I'll then thread them onto a piece of Dollar Tree twine. I will tie a knot at the bottom so these lemons do not fall off. Now here you see I kind of had it backward. I had the larger lemon on the bottom and then the smaller lemon on top. I did change that around, but I then took that twine and wrapped it around the lip of my jar several times, cut it off so I had an end that I can tie with the end that has my lemons on it. So I just tie that nice and tight and then just kind of tack it down with a little dab of hot glue. Once that is done, I'm going to make a little twine bow with my fingers, and I'm going to tack that right on top of where that little knot is, just to hide any mess that I may have made. I do use my scissors to trim off any fuzzies from the twine, and like I said, I do change my lemons around so the smaller one is on the bottom. So here's my little twine finger bow. I'm going to tie it in the middle and cut off any excess. And I'm ready to attach that. So I know that normally you would do the base of the jar white and the little shapes yellow, but I just thought that this was a fun twist. So all that is left now, once your little candlestick is dry, and I did Mod Podge over it again, is to glue these two together. You could use a heavy duty glue. I just use hot glue for video purposes, but here's what it looks like. I think this is so adorable, and I really hope that you like it as well. So let's talk about today's challenge. It is called Here's Your Crown, Women Supporting Women. It's one of my favorite challenges that I do each month with my good friend Connie from Connie's Creative Creations. She was the inventor of this super fun concept of just supporting each other and giving people shout outs and credits for their amazing work. So Connie will be linked below in my description box, as well as a playlist of other amazing creators sharing their videos. So definitely check that out. Okay guys, DIY number 2 is inspired by Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty. I made will be the larger picture and the inspiration will be in the top left corner. So I have just recently watched a couple of Dee's videos. She is so talented. She explains things really well and she is super sweet. So I will have her linked in my description box. So Dee, here is your crown, and I am going to try to create one of her adorable projects. So here we go. I finally found a wood round from Dollar Tree. I was really excited. So I removed the twine hanger at the top and I painted it with Waverly Plaster chalk paint. I then took some of those jumbo craft sticks that you can find Walmart for just a couple dollars, and I'm just deciding how long I want my popsicles to be, and then I just use another stick to get a straight line to cut them. Now I'm going to have 4 whole popsicles, which is 2 pieces, and 2 single popsicles, so you will need a total of 11 pieces, however long you want them. I'm going to go ahead and use this purple by Apple Barrel called Wisteria. I use this green by Waverly, this red apple by Folk Art, pumpkin by Waverly, maize by Waverly, agave by Waverly. I will have these all listed in my description box. And then I just figured out how I wanted all of my popsicles. I did a whole one, which is 2 pieces, and then a single one, then 2 whole ones side by side, a single and a whole one. They do have to be fairly close together to all fit in on here, but it does work out just fine. I wanted my 2 whole ones side by side in the middle for the M's because I've been playing around with this for a while and the M looks a little funny on a single stick. So this is just what I decided to do, but you could customize this with any colors that you like. You can alternate your colors any way you like. This is just so fun. So then I went ahead and took some regular old popsicle sticks from Dollar Tree. Now there's no specific length, you just cut them however you want them. This was just a fun piece, so I didn't want it all the same. I cut the shorter ones down really short. The shorter ones, oh my goodness, what I meant was I cut the side ones down really short, there we go, so they would fit on there, and then the middle ones are a little bit longer. I just played around and had so much fun with this. And then once I am all done with that, then you can go ahead and do your lettering. So you can use a Cricut, you can use some stickers from Dollar Tree or rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree. I am not a freehander, but I decided to go out of my comfort zone for this project and freehand. So I first traced it out in pencil, and then I went ahead over it with a jumbo marker from Dollar Tree. So here we have the word summer, and once that is done, I am going to put something at the top. Now you will see 2 different things. I had originally penciled out hello for the top and then went over it with marker, and I wanted it to look whimsical, but I thought it kind of looked terrible. So I ended up putting a little welcome word that I had in my stash, painting it maize and putting that up there. So there's 2 options, but that's why you'll see 2 differences. Now I just made one of my little expos by taking some of this Dollar Tree burlap and folding it over until there was 2 loops on either side and it formed an X. Then I'm going to pinch my X tightly in the middle and tie it with a piece of twine. The tighter that you tie your twine, the more you can fluff your bow. Then I'm just going to tie that off and cut off the excess. Attach my bow with hot glue after I attach my hanger. I had some leftover beaded garland from a Christmas garland, so I just glued that to the back and used a little spare piece of paper to go over the hot glue. Then I can attach my bow right there on the side at an angle, and I do decide to go ahead and fill in that other little hole at the top of the sign. You can use spackle or paint, and here is what it looks like. I absolutely love it. I think it is so bright, colorful, fun, and whimsical. Again, super customizable, easy to do. It's a fun project to do with kiddos as well. You could let them pick out the paint colors and let them help arrange all these beautiful colors. So once again, Dee, here's your crown. You are absolutely amazing, and I hope you like the recreation of your project. Okay guys, DIY number 3. To be a recreation from Courtney from Creative on the Cheap. Again, she will be listed in my description box. She is so amazing and she makes such beautiful things. I wanted to try my hand at it as well. So I recreated this lemon tray that she made her tray will be in the top corner, and here is what I made with inspiration from her. I purchased this 18-inch wood round from Home Depot and asked them to cut it down the middle for me, and they did with their saw. It only took them a quick second to do this cut, and this wood round cost me $10, and I'm going to get 2 projects out of it. So I began by taking my pencil, sketching out a half circle there at the top, and then sketching out a few of these triangle shapes. I do 4 whole ones, and then I go back and put a half one on either side. And I'm, like I said, just using the pencil to trace these out. They don't have to be exact, but if you feel like you messed up, you can use the eraser on your pencil to erase and redraw the line. So I'm just doing that to get it exactly how I want it. And then, like I said, I did feel like it needed a little bit along the sides, so I did come back and do 2 little edges. Now I'm going to paint in all of my little pencil designs with Waverly Maze chalk paint. I will do 2 coats of this just to give a nice vibrant color. I absolutely love this yellow. It is so pretty. So I do 1 coat, allow it to dry, and then come back in with a second coat. Again, this does not have to be perfect. And here I am doing the little 2 halves. And then I'm going to also fill in that half circle there with the same color of paint and 2 coats as well, just making sure that I get the whole sketched design as close as possible. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my Waverly Plaster Chalk paint, and I'm going to paint a half circle all around that design on the wood round at the top there. I'm going to just do my best, and again, I absolutely love just having fun with this. I've never done anything like this before, so thank you so much for inspiring me, Courtney. Here's your crown. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the same paint to just go between each one of my triangle designs, just filling it in the best I can. And again, I did 2 coats of this as well. I wanted this piece of lemon to be very bright and vibrant. And then I did the edge of the tray with that yellow maze as well. Now I'm taking this apple barrel. I believe it was King's Gold, but I can't see that well. I will have it listed below in my description box, but I'm going to go ahead and give my lemon another half circle right around the edge. Now I brush over that with some more of that maze chalk paint just lightly, and I'm using a stencil brush. I'm also going to stencil brush lightly over those triangle pieces with that darker yellow color, just playing around, and then come back in and brush on some of that plaster color. So that's all optional. I just wanted to have a lot of dimension and depth on this tray. I just thought it was really pretty. So I also follow the same steps there on that half circle, and I did use a paper towel to kind of wipe it in a little bit, kind of give it a muted look. There's what that looks like. I'm going to go over it with 2 coats of Mod Podge, and I have candles that I purchased at the Home Depot as well. They come with screws, and they were about $1.50 each. So I'm just going to figure out exactly where I want them. And then my husband went ahead and drilled the screws in for me. I'm not that great with power tools, as I am so clumsy. So he just went ahead and did that for me, 1 on either side. So this tray has some gorgeous handles. And here is what it looks like. I absolutely love it. It is such a beautiful piece. It's not food safe since I use the Mod Podge, but you could put wrap foods on there, all kinds of things to use it as an adorable serving tray. Here's what it looks like with some of my lemon decor in a corner of my kitchen. I just think it is so bright and vibrant and beautiful, brings everything on this little vignette to life, and I really hope that you like this. Again, thank you so much, Courtney, for the inspiration. Now, like Courtney, I'm going to go ahead and use the other half of my wood round to make another tray. And like her, I also made a watermelon tray following similar steps, but I went ahead and used this lacquer by Waverly to create a half circle on my half circle. And I actually did 2 coats of this. So I just did 1, allowed it to dry, and then I did my second one. And this one was so fun as well. I think that there's going to be more painting on my channel now that I am stepping outside my comfort zone, and absolutely loved how these trays came out. So here we go, just creating this half circle and then filling it in. So here is what that looks like. And again, I did do 2 coats. And then I took my Waverly plaster and did a thin line right over top of the edge of that line of lacquer color. I just went all the way around. And then I took this scallion green by Waverly and did another thin line right on top of the edge of the Waverly line. Then I come in with the darkest green of Waverly and do another line at the very edge, and also I did the edge side of that tray as well. Then I'm going to dry brush with my stencil brush some of that scallion colored paint on top of the darker colored green just to add some dimension. Now I'm just using my pencil to sketch out some seeds. You could do as many or as few as you like, whatever size you like. I did a whole bunch of little ones, and I'm going to come in with this jumbo marker from Dollar Tree. It worked so well and fill in my seeds. I am then going to give this 2 coats of Mod Podge and follow the same steps to put handles, the exact same type, on this tray as well. I made this one for my sister, and I'm going to keep the lemon one for myself. I thought it was really cute that we each have half of a whole piece, so I'm a little corny that way, I guess, but my sister really seems to like this, so that's pretty cool. All right, you guys, moving into DIY number 5, which is also another recreation from Courtney. So hers is in the top left again, and mine is there in the middle. I'm going to use this spaghetti jar, and I coat it with Mod Podge and allow it to dry. I am then going to give it 2 coats of the Waverly lacquer chalk paint, allowing it to dry in between each coat. And I do find that if you Mod Podge first, it really helps your paint to stick better. Now I'm going to take this dark green by Waverly and do the bottom ridge there about 1 inch up with this dark green to create the rind of my watermelon. Once I am done with that, I am then going to go ahead and Mod Podge over this and allow it to dry. I find by doing that, my seeds will go on nice and cleaner on the top. But I do dry brush a little bit first with this pink apple barrel. I believe it was called Pink Parfait by Apple Barrel paint, and my stencil brush just to add a little bit more dimension. Now I'm using this light green color there to go over the darker green at the bottom, again for more dimension. Now my seeds will go on really well since this does have a Mod Podged surface, and I'm just using this jumbo marker from Dollar Tree again to create some really large teardrop shapes. You could do smaller if you like. I just thought large was really fun for this project. I go around the mouth of my jar with some Dollar Tree twine. This is the twine you find in the automotive section. And when I am done with that, I trim off the little fuzzies with my scissors and also trim off the excess twine. Then I'm just going to create a little bow here. But first I'm going to go around the jar one more time with a long piece and create the bow with the tails of those pieces. Then once that is done, I will trim off any excess, and you have an absolutely adorable little jar here. I did leave my tails fairly long as I thought that was cute, but that is totally optional. And then I just tucked some beautiful greenery I found at Dollar Tree into the top. So I really hope that you like this one as well. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and take care, friends. Here's a last look at all of our projects. This adorable lemon on a stand, this Hello Summer popsicle sign, our 2 gorgeous trays, our lemon and our watermelon slice, and then our watermelon jar as well. Thank you so much for watching today. If you watched all the way to the end, please leave me a piece of fruit in the comments to let me know that you did, and take care, friends. I will see you very soon.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft, and stay safe.